A life was cut short, and we're here left with the pieces.
A family broken. How would you describe these last several days for you all?
A tragedy.
Monday night, detectives say 44-year-old Marlon Samuels was in an argument with someone in the shopping plaza in North Lauderdale. Detectives say the two started fighting when the other person shot Samuels several times, then shot his 20-year-old son, Mikhail, before taking off. Marlon didn't make it. His son survived. NBC6 spoke with someone over the phone who knows the father and son well. She didn't want to go on camera, and she wanted us to alter her voice. She's afraid because the shooter is still out there.
He was on a roll, you know. He was on a good path. So it's just unfortunate that his life was cut short.
She says Marlon was a husband and father who migrated to the U.S. from Jamaica only a few years ago.
He was a hardworking man, very ambitious. He had a lot of dreams that he wanted to achieve.
She says his son, who has a bright future ahead of him, is remaining positive.
And thank God he is still with us, so he's able to pursue all the dreams he has in store.
An unthinkable tragedy. Family members and those who know them want one thing.
What do you all want ultimately?
Justice.
The family did not want to share a photo of Marlon and his son at the time. Just another example of how afraid so many people are. Again, the shooter is still out there, but they wanted to send this message to you all watching. If you know anything, if you saw something, if you heard something, you come across something that may point back to this unfortunate tragedy, call Broward Sheriff's Office, call Broward Crime Stoppers. You can leave a tip through Crime Stoppers anonymously.
Welcome to True Jamaica Buzz, news and entertainment with a buzz. Based on the video that you just saw of a Jamaican father that lost his life in the presence of his son was gone up. Father's name, Marlon Samuels, not the cricketer. Son's name, Mikhail Samuels. Son is about 20-year-old or so. They were taken out and shot up by the brother of the deceased and the uncle of the man that lived. This all happened in a Lauderdale, North Lauderdale, like I said, just north of Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Based on information, it is said that this shooting is as a result, the motive is dead-left legacy. Dead-left legacy means that when family members die and they leave property, and the people that are family are fighting, squabbling over it, that usually leads to people getting chop up, people getting pie up. In this case, somebody or two people get pie up. It is confirmed that the person that did the shooting, the brother of the deceased, he is known on the street as Kush Kash. Now, when you talk about Kush Kash, they should call him a definite Croft. Kush Kash has been in the United States for a couple of decades, at least 3, maybe 4, maybe 5. Kush Kash was a part of a crew known as Young 90s, meaning 90s from New York, sample crew. You know, so back in the 90s, 2000, they had all sorts of crew. People like to go to party, people that were selling drugs, and even in the case of Kush Kash, this is what we call a taker. This is somebody that would abduct, kidnap people, and rob them for the proceeds of their drugs, rob them for whatever, home invasion, robbery, takeaway, murder. He was involved in a PP clock. So I'm going to give you the reason why he took away his brother and cornered up his nephew. Based on the information, like I said, Kush Kash has been living in America for a very, very long time. Well, better yet, let me give you his history so you can understand why he did what he did, not to say that it is justified. Kush Kash and him crew, a set of youth including Bobby Weiner, notorious gunman, killer, he died of AIDS. He was a thief. He was a known thief from New York, Boston, Massachusetts, all over the place, got deported from New York, came to Boston, did the same thing, he died of AIDS. So him and Kush Kash used to spar, and a next youth named Dougie, amongst other persons that they used to spar with. used to frequent Auntie's restaurant that is on 199th Street and 441. The flea market 183rd Street, right on 183rd Street and 441 right there. So like I said, Kush Kash and his crew used to rob people. They were known takers. People that know kept away from them, unsuspecting victims were robbed and sometimes taken out. There was one instance in which him set up a works with his mechanic that live in a Sunrise or operate the business in a Sunrise, Florida. That mechanic was robbed during the robbery. One of the youth that went with Kush Kash named Dougie, the mechanic ended up bite off Dougie thumb, so therefore Kush Kash and Dougie took away that mechanic. Kush Kash then ran away, went to California, some other states, make it cool down for a while, and then he came back. After all these years or decade of stealing, robbing people of their drugs and cash, Kush Kash hit some hard time, where it came down to he was living in his car behind a plaza in a North Lauderdale. It is said that the brother that had recently moved up, not recently, a couple of years ago or so, moved to America, migrated to America with his son, 20-something-year-old. Knew that his brother was on hard time and knew that he was hanging out, live in a car behind a plaza in a North Lauderdale. After the mother lost her life, the brother said to himself, well, you there, meaning Kush Kash, and me there now, I don't have any sorts of plans of moving back to Jamaica. So I am going to sell the house and give you the lion's share, give you most of it. That was when there was some sorts of disagreement, some sorts of argument. And Kush Kash wheel and pop off, shot up his brother, Marlon. The son that was in the vehicle or in the vicinity of the father heard and rushed to his rescue. And that was where Kush Kash also blazed up the sun. I am going to give you the story and the reasons why. It is said that Kush Kash would burn all his bridges, would rob everybody except him friend, even rob him friends, not even him friends them don't trust him. He knew that he was in a desperate situation and he knew that him can't get no help from anybody because he had pretty much demolished all of his bridges. Nobody trust him, nobody would put him up in a Jamaica, nobody would put him up in America because people are say him squander, him floss out, him gal out, him do everything that was wrong. With all of the money that he stole, he still did not have anything to show in a foreign, was in a Jamaica. And he sees exactly what is going on as it pertains to Donald Trump, that more than likely a person with his resume and record is going to get deported. Maybe he knew that they were looking for him as we speak. So he must said to himself, then all you want, sell the house. Even though the brother had promised to give him most of the money, he did not want that. He was in strong disagreement, and that is where him wheel and pop off and con up him brother and con up him nephew, his brother's son. All because he knew that if and when eventually, when he goes back to Jamaica, nobody, family member would trust him because he never sent a penny, a letter, or a stamp go back to Jamaica. So he wanted to secure the property that his mother left. He did not buy that property, did not send any sorts of money to his mother, did not send any sorts of money to his brother when he was making a whole bunch of cash through the thievery and takery in a Fort Lauderdale. However, he want to fight over DEAD left legacy. His brother end up DEAD because of the legacy or what the family died and left, specifically his mother. So here again, like the saying goes, a fool and his money will always part. And this is a perfect example of a croft that had it all, blew it all, got very desperate. Desperate times calls for desperate measure. He decided that he was going to take away his own brother, almost take away his nephew, all because of dead left legacy, people dead, and he is going to be locked up doing life. So I guess when he weighs the pros and the cons and asks himself, I am stuck between a rock and a hard place. The rock being jam rock, the hard place being hard time in a prison. He would probably rather go to prison in America for the rest of his natural life than to actually go back to Jamaica. And then again, when we think about it, that would be the decision that is made by a Croft. And Kush Kash was a Croft in every sense of the word. Murderous, thieving Croft, point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news is an update about a story that I spoke about a couple of days ago, wherein 13-year-old Zana Shaw, she is from Forepath, that is in Clarendon. She was abducted and found in a Yuatan that is in St. Catherine, I think, on or about the 15th of April, so for about a week and 1 day. Based on the information, it is said that she was abducted for extortion, ransom money. She was abducted for what they call 3 days of darkness in that cult church. CTAC went to the premises in a Yuatan and they found the girl hiding under a bed. So the investigation led them to the premises. The premises is owned and operated by the aunt of that girl. However, the big preacher, the leader of the cults, Pastor Byron Hunter, next person that was arrested, 35-year-old Donna Mae Taylor, that is an auntie. 38-year-old Roche Hunter, he was also arrested. I am going to let the reporter give you the details in a professional manner, and then I'll give my piece.
The teen was taken from her home without the knowledge or consent of her mother. A missing persons report was filed, and the matter was brought to the attention of NSAD detectives, who immediately launched an investigation. They were led to a home in Uriton, St. Catherine on Tuesday, April 15, where the missing teen was found living among members of a religious group. 2 other children were also seen at the premises. It was later discovered that those children were not registered for school. According to the police, the Clarendon teen was reportedly taken by the religious leader for a special upcoming event akin to 3 days of darkness. The accused, one of whom is her aunt and the mastermind behind the abduction, were taken into custody and the children were removed from the home. The alleged leader of the religious sect, Byron Hunter, and Donna Mae Taylor were both charged with abduction of a child under 16, being a member of a criminal organization, 2 counts under the duty to secure education, and 3 counts of duty to report need for care and protection. Roche Hunter was charged with conspiracy to abduct a child under 16, being a member of a criminal organization, 2 counts of duty to secure education, and 3 counts of duty to report need for care and protection. All 3 are booked to appear before the Home Circuit Court on Monday, April 28.
Now, people, when you hear stuff like this, like they say, for whom much is given, much is expected. Well, that is if you have high expectations of your police, of your politician, and in this case, of your preacher, which happens to be a cult leader, Kevin Smith type of ish. We should have more expectation in family member as in the aunt, but the aunt in this case is actually the mastermind. The aunt, make sure say she lowered the child, took the child because the child probably thought that this is my auntie, I can go, only to realize that she was not sent back home, only to be held for in excess of a week and 1 day, to be specific. They was going to use the child for 3 days of darkness. Now, people, when we think about all of these vulnerable, gullible people in Jamaica that think that religion is the way to go, I guess they are probably desperate and just need a place in which they call a safe space, only not to realize that they are being scammed and bamboozled. They are taken advantage of. So auntie, which is supposed to be a relative, supposed to keep that child safe, and then the church, which is supposed to be responsible, supposed to oversee, the auntie oversees the righteous way of Jamaica, we see say they are no different than the average man, woman. It even worse, they are even worser. Such is the case in this case. People, I don't know what is wrong with these people. I am not saying that persons are not supposed to pray to a higher power. However, these people kind of stand out like a sore thumb. But I guess it seems as if the mind and meds of people in Jamaica, it is woefully warped, point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news is an update about a story that I did maybe about 24 hours ago or so, in which the police went on a kill two birds with one stone mission in a place known as Old Harbour. Terminal Street, one of the youth lost their life. At about 4:50 in the morning, Crocodile in Ocean Road was taken out. Police rolled up on him premises. Police came under fire, returned fire. Then blaze up Mr. Road, known as Daddy One or Gov. Fast forward, maybe about an hour later, Terminal, they went for our next young youth, 17-year-old Tiani Stevens. Next patient, same treatment. Gun again found with a couple of rounds. These people were sent to the afterlife. I want you to take a listen, take a look to what the mother of the 17-year-old had to say. Spoke about this, played it yesterday. However, I want to dissect everything that she said.
We need justice to my son, my 17-year-old son, who then kill innocently, execution. Because they take him out and I'm sleep in front of him like a 14-year-old sister and kill him. And as me I go in the house, oh my God, man. You hold him mother and push back him mother and fling back him mother out the door like me. Me I beg you to save my son because I just bury one day and me I beg you to text me and I tell you. And you still push him back out and say, what's it, that girl? Come out. And when one house, not even a search warrant, you don't come with a search warrant. You don't come and knock up, you just come and kick off my door.
Now, people, we understand a mother, even if her child is the devil, she's going to paint a picture of Picasso as if he is a saint. We've seen it on many occasions, especially in a Garrison era, especially when these family members are the beneficiaries of the proceeds of crime. Yes, the police can be a little bit more professional when they go in there, and they could be a little less disrespectful or respectful when they go to people's place. However, if the police feel within themselves, based on information, based on intelligence, that this mother is a facilitator, a beneficiary of crime, especially if they are given the son or sons warning before, and them here say the son or sons are involved. A lot of times these sons or sons are involved in a shooting, murders, all sorts of vicious crimes. Them get a warning, them go to jail, them get locked up, them get bail. It is like a revolving door. So when the police hear them name and ring up, and then them name and ring up on a recent incident, especially with a man known as Daddy One, like I said, it was two birds with one stone, warrant of death that was going to be served in the worstest extent. So when the police come, them done upon a mission. That mission is to take you out. So whether it is controversial, shootout, whatever the case is going to be, the results are always going to be the same. So therefore, when the police come, being the fact that them done already a warning, being the fact that you know say your family are criminal, being the fact that you're going to act like he's a saint, it is only going to tick off the police. And I am not saying that there are no incidents in which the police go and then get the wrong person and the wrong person get the wrongest results. However, in most cases, the police know who they are going for, know the reason why, and know the desired result, which is what most Jamaicans want, based on the recent disturbing trend where it seems as if the judges are letting out all of these criminal elements, and these are the same repeat offender. So therefore, if you don't want history to replace or repeat itself, then you put a nip in it, you stop it right there on the spot. And that is exactly what the police did, in my opinion. So we say the people do all sorts of protests, but at the end of the day, like I said, these criminal elements have their agenda, their MO, whenever people lose them life, they're always going to act as if the police is wrong, even if the police is not wrong. Am I saying that the police is professional in all cases? Am I saying that the police is right in all cases? No, by no stretch of the imagination. But me just I say, usually them get it right. And these people are actually doing the wrong thing. And whenever you do the wrong thing do you. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like these, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. Bless up.